welcome back. And here we are, day 2. And day 2, we're going to spend a little bit more time on some additional information about our footwork. So we're going to start off with talking about turnout. Turnout or no turnout. So turnout just means the rotation of the feet where the toes turn out away. So I'll go ahead and show you that. And as I do, I'm going to explain a little bit more about the difference of why sometimes you do want turnout and sometimes maybe not. So in ballroom dancing is the whole encompass of all the partner dances that we do. And some dances have much different techniques and style to them. For example, if you imagine a beautiful flowing waltz or a salsa or a cha-cha, they have a very different look. So we can adapt our movement and our techniques to give those dances different personalities to match the kind of music that we're moving to. So if I was going to do a waltz or one of the ballroom traditional dances, I would not use turnout with my feet in most cases because we don't use any body action like hip movement in the waltz. We have like swaying movement and what we call rise and fall, but not the Latin action. So because of that, we don't use turnout with the feet. So if I brought my feet together in foot position number 1, my whole foot would be parallel to the other. So pretty much touching the heels together and touching the whole foot together. But if I was going to do one of the Latin dances, I would want some turnout, and the reason is that it allows for more rotation with the hip to get more body action. So in that case, my heels would be touching, but my toes would actually be turned out. And I talked a little bit about turnout because we use turnout for sure in foot position number 3 because our toes are turned out away, and foot position number 5 because our toes are turned away. But also in foot position number 1, again, parallel, which would be if I was doing a waltz type movement, foxtrot, something like that. But if I was doing more of the Latin style, where it has more body and hip action, I separate the toes, and that way it gives me more room to rotate the hips. Now, again, in lesson number 5, I'm going to spend time on just teaching you and explaining to you about that hip action. But right now, again, we're setting everything up sort of from the ground up so that we have a good foundation, and that makes a huge difference on being able to be free with our body movement. So depending on what we're trying to achieve, a more flowing movement or a more body movement, how we place our feet is going to make a difference. So that is our turnout. So again, just an idea that we'll be adding to. Another thing that I wanted to mention, in the way that we move, we talked about our foot positions that move to the side, like position number 2, or moves forward and back, like position number 4. But we also have diagonals. So I just wanted to mention that clearly we can move also in angles. So instead of stepping straight forward or straight back, I can move off into a diagonal. So I'm moving in a diagonal this way. I'm moving in a diagonal across myself, moving in a diagonal back, and a diagonal back. So again, that gives me, so sometimes instead of just stepping straight forward, it might give me a really nice look with something I'm achieving with the hoop to actually move myself more at an angle. So angles are really important in ballroom dancing, and diagonals, especially important in ballroom dancing because when you're moving with a partner, those diagonals make it way easier to do some of the rotational movements. So we can consider that too with our hoop partner. And we'll be talking about that in the lead and follow lesson. All right, so one last thing I wanted to talk about is one of the places that we do use diagonals that's really important is a grapevine. So pretty much everybody's heard of a grapevine and a dance move step. And here it is. I'm going to go ahead and show you, and I'll move off to this side, and we're going to be moving to your right. So a grapevine is just a step to the side and crossing in front, step to the side and crossing behind. So grapevine is a side movement and a crossing movement, either crossing forward or back. So when I do that crossing action, it actually feels better to move a little bit more at diagonals than it does to just step across or behind myself. Okay, so when I step forward and across at a diagonal or back and across at a diagonal, again, it gives me much freer movement. So you can see my body moving at angles. So I'll go ahead and do that with my back to you so you can follow along. So I'm going to start on this side and we'll be moving to our right. So we're going to take one side step and then we're going to cross in front, side, behind. And you can see, again, those diagonals. So let's go ahead and go over to our left with the left foot. And this time let's cross behind first. And then let's cross in front. So I'm thinking about the diagonals instead of right exactly to the side. So at a diagonal, diagonals. So again, it just gives me more range of motion and variation, and you'll hear me keep saying that over and over because we want a lot of slight variations in our dancing to give even something that we do quite often just a little bit of a different look. We're going to move on from the feet in the next lesson, and we're going to go into some arm styling coming up. So see you in lesson number 3.